What is up, crypto hackers? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack our cryptocurrency, blockchain, NFT, and metaverse education. If that sounds good to you, slap a like on this video. It gets it out to more people. Be subscribed with notifications on. And in this video, I'm going to be going over AngelBlock. If you're watching this video and you have started a company before, you understand the fundraising pain points here. Fundraising is comprised of a ton of legal documents, going through all different types of funds, angel investors, and going through and signing things. And it can get pretty chaotic and crazy. Now, as someone who's funded companies in the past as an investor, and also I've raised funds for companies, it is a very arduous process. So AngelBlock has set out to disrupt that and decentralize that. They're using a lot of really cool staking mechanisms, and most importantly, they're using NFTs. Based on the different attributes that NFTs have, they get different rewards, and it's a really cool kind of decentralized approach to fundraising. Now, there's a really important concept to understand here. With fundraising for a startup, there are accredited and non-accredited investors. This is something that I have disdained for a very long time. Like my parents or your parents or the regular mom and pops out there can go to Las Vegas, put all their money on a roulette table and lose it with ease, but yet they can't invest in the best high yielding assets in the world, like startups and businesses. It is a fundamentally flawed system when we require people to have $1 million in net worth to be classified as an accredited investor. That's something that Web3 is changing. And AngelBlock has really done a great job of messaging this, allowing people to connect with these entrepreneurs and these founders and help them with fundraising, and using a lot of really cool governance and staking mechanisms here. So what I want to do in this video is I want to go over some of the tokenomics. As you guys know, as an econ nerd myself, I love tokenomics, everything that is going on there with the rewards coming out of some of these funded projects going to like validators, and just how things are going to be structured. Gonna dig into that a little bit. I'm gonna jump onto their site, show you guys what that looks like. One of my favorite parts about the white paper after digging through it for AngelBlock was seeing that they said they are the DeFi mullet, where they're fintech in the front and blockchain in the back. And I think that that's a fantastic way of looking at this, where they're trying to revolutionize fundraising for blockchain startups and fintech startups. And they're using these smart contracts in the background to really bring new types of LPs into the picture here. Like, people are going to be doing equity crowdfunding and equity raising with tokens on this platform. And getting these NFTs in the wallet of an investor gives all these cool new properties. It like cracks open a nut that has all these really interesting things that you can do, because it gives you access. And access NFTs are the next huge wave here, where you have ticketing and gating and things like that that really allow you to utilize these utility NFTs in such a unique way. So I've been obsessed with access NFTs for many years now, and seeing a concept of revolutionizing how startups are getting funded with investors using NFTs is super exciting to me. Quick disclaimer, when I saw this project, I reached out to them, and this is a sponsored review. I thought it was brilliant. AngelBlock is really similar in my mind to AngelList, except bringing it into the 21st century and having things in smart contracts and doing things with governance tokens and utility NFTs and things like that is super important to get out there. And that's why I really wanted to do this review and bring it to you guys. So without further ado, let's jump on to the website, show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about, go through some of the tokenomics here with the governance token and the utility kind of concept around the NFTs and how all this fits together. So let's dive onto it. So the NFTs themselves are these kind of cute little people here, these little kind of winged people. And ultimately, the goal is that each attribute that is associated with these NFTs give you different access. So I would imagine that if something like an early stage Facebook came on and you had some of the certain attributes that the NFT had, you could get access to that deal. And gating through the attributes is a really powerful way of getting, certain deal flow, having rarity to different NFTs. So for example, if the top 1% of rarity of the NFTs have access to the best deals. What you have here is you have a very, very scarce demand for those NFTs. And however many attributes they have, I mean, you can kind of split it across and say, all right, if we split out all of our deal flow that we have for the investors across all the 6,900 supply of NFTs, everybody's going to be trying to enter with the basic NFT, and then they're going to go and upgrade that NFT to get more access once they test it out. So you have this cool funnel where people come in maybe on the ground floor, get access to the basic NFT with the basic attributes that gives you the basic deal flow. And then you can kind of upgrade as you get comfortable or you start learning more about the process of them kind of cherry picking the startups that are coming to you. And it just provides this really cool onboarding flow for investors to understand what's going on, and then they can upgrade. So they do have the token here that is quite interesting in how it works, because they have a validator system that's going to allow for governance, and it is basically replacing and disrupting LPs is how I view this. And they have a network of angels that I think is going to be really powerful for startups, because mentorship is key when it comes to starting any company in any industry. At any time, you need to have mentors and people to help guide you. They do have the staking concept. So if you have a certain number of NFTs in your wallet, you're able to lock up tokens, and based on the length, how you lock up and the amount of NFTs you have, is directly proportional to the amount of return that you'll get. The secondary equity marketplace is a really important part to this. And this is what I really wanted to talk about for early stage startups, because there is no liquidity in traditional fundraising. Like as a startup founder, you are going to have to wait for many years before that's liquid. In some cases, a decade to go public. And Web3 has changed that. It's bringing that all the way up to the front and front loading it for founders to be able to decide, okay, well, can I actually have liquid equity and distribute that on a secondary marketplace to investors that are interested in an equity token position? And it really transforms what it means to go public. And I think that this is how the future is kind of coming true with technology and equity and liquidity. I believe that what we're watching with things like AngelBlock and fundraising on chain in general is we're watching what happened after a decade of companies going public and waiting that long for the early investors, the early employees, the founders, waiting that long for a liquidity event. Basically, you have it all the way moved. Technology has eaten that whole decade of wait time, and they're able to do it on the front end or closer to the founding date, which I think is a powerful revolutionary concept that a lot of people are sleeping on. Not many people realize that that's going on right now. All right, last and most certainly not least, I wanted to dive into some of the basic tokenomics here, just to simplify it down for everybody. It's an ERC20, the Tholos token, and they are doing the staking that earns a deflationary APY in exchange for nominating validators of startups. So validators are able to protect and make sure that startups are, keeping everybody updated. They're almost like police in a way of making sure everything is going accordingly. And this is why you get rewards, because you're basically holding up the protocol, holding up the network itself. Gaining access to the platform and the community when you hold the token, very much a gating concept that is very powerful. Gating is the future of how a lot of NFTs and tokens are going to work. The privileges are going to be based on the bag that you hold. And I'm assuming that based on a lot of different tokenomics that I've read through, it's not only the bag that you hold, but it's also the length in which you've locked up. So that is your conviction level on top of the balance that you hold. The utility for after the TGE, they of course have the additional forms like I previously mentioned, where you have the equity plus tokens, things like that. The governance model is really cool around the kind of NFT locking up, how you can contribute, things like that. The rewards for fixing security issues and loopholes is a very, very powerful concept here for startups that are getting into the tokenomics side of things, because having mentors for tokenomics is vital. And the borrowing here, I think, is the last sort of fundamental part where companies need access to different lines of credit. And that's just a part of the business that a lot of people don't talk about, but you need credit lines. And having collateralized borrowing for startups, for investing, for startups to have access to collateralized borrowing is such a powerful thing that I can't even overstate how important that is for any founders out there. They are going to have 480 million of these tokens, and there's some basic usage with Metcalfe's law in there. And I think that there's a lot of good details here in the white paper. I read through the whole thing, and figuring out that a lot of the rewards are going to be used for the validators and the startups themselves is really compelling and really cool that they're doing that. Because if I want access to rewards and I want access to fees and I want startups to get what they need, I am going to participate in something like holding all pieces of the puzzle here, which means I hold my NFT, I hold my bag of the Tholos token, and I lock it all up for a long period of time, hit my vesting milestones, and I am able to make sure that I'm contributing and that there's good diligence going on and that everybody is doing their part. As a validator, I'd be able to, of course, make sure that everything is going on and I feel part of something. Bravo on the actual tokenomics themselves. That is it for my overview of AngelBlock. I'm really excited for something like this because it has been near and dear to me for a very long time that the average person cannot invest in easily the best thing to invest in, which is businesses. And it has been restricted for a very long time with accredited investors and non-accredited investors. I do think that they're updating the accredited investor requirements to go through different tests and things like that. But the whole concept of that is that the rich can get access and people that are not wealthy cannot get access. And that to me is a fundamentally broken fundraising system. So it's cool to see actually the individual investor can get access to this. We are going to enable them to come in, see the deal flow that is coming from AngelBlock. They're able to see updates. There's no handshakes needed or anything like that. It is programmed in with as much of the decentralized aspects as possible here. They're using the smart contracts with the lockup periods, the NFTs, everything. So it's all transparent. It's all on chain. You can see what's going on. And that to me is the future of how this is going to work out. This is how businesses flourish. That's how founders can get access to capital from people who may not be the multi-millionaires, but they're experts in their field. There's all sorts of wins that can happen here. Overall, I'm really pumped to see this level of innovation coming to the average person or individual that's interested in investing in crypto startups, seeing these vetted companies come onto the platform and be able to access them, getting these NFTs so that they can actually share some of the yield, get access to that. I think that this is a really empowering concept that AngelBlock is doing. So that is it for my overview. All the links will be in the description below to check out AngelBlock. Definitely show them some love. And I will see you guys on the next episode here on Hack Crypto.